Okay, so in I don't know, in the past week or so, we were doing a double story residential house, and so primarily what we did, we covered foundation, concrete, roof slab, beams, columns. So slabs. So that one is very. You can use that information to go up to like multi-story design. And since we also covered some multi-story with Mundia, although we didn't get to, I'll have to speak to him and see whether or not he can be able to finish that. But the principles are the same. The ones that I was applying in a double story, you can apply them to other multi-story, four-story, five-story, except when you go past 20 meters or so, then you'd have to start incorporating maybe wind loads. And then maybe if you've been fortunate, if you're working with a consulting firm, and if you've been fortunate enough to work on a project that has got different maybe climate conditions or regions, and then maybe you'd have to factor in things such as maybe what is that earthquake or seismic or even temperature, depending on where the client is. So for this particular session today, I'd like to use the same concepts that we use in Prota for that and Revit and AutoCAD for that double story, and then we can try to apply them in Revit. Because believe it or not, Revit also has got like an analytical model. I think I did it one time in the Paul has got a hand. Yes, Paul.
Y- Yes, I just have a question.
Okay.
After doing the structure analysis in Prota, so I wanted to ask, is it still necessary to do the manual calculations like the way we used to do in university?
Or his question is whether or not it's necessary to do manual calculations like we used to do. So in university, when you are, I speak from my experience. In university, when I was getting into university, the knowledge that I had was very limited. I was coming from a technical school, and then what I knew was just maybe additional mathematics. Coordinate geometry was new to me. Well, it wasn't new to me. It was sorry. In high school, I'd learned that. But concepts that were new to me were something like theoretical mechanics. But as far as calculus, that wasn't new. And what else? Reinforced concrete. Thank you. Steel structure. So when you, but that's more advanced. But at beginner, maybe first year, you have something like theoretical mechanics, and then yeah, introduction to civil engineering. But for things like theoretical mechanics, the concepts in theoretical mechanics are essentially just the free body diagram, the equations, and yeah, and then you'll be given a figure, maybe a 2D figure, and they will ask you whether it's structurally determinant or indeterminate, and then they will tell you to find the degree of determinacy or indeterminacy. You have to find, like, you if you've been presented with a with a diagram, you have to decompose it to like an FBD, the simplest, and then you identify the forces or the restraints or the supports, and then if the number of supports exceeds the number of equations that you can use, then it's structurally indeterminate. And then the further that you go in structural mechanics, you find that okay, if it's indeterminate, you have other methods of solving, like force method, the method of displacement method, the moment of the distribution. Yeah, moment distribution. I think moment distribution is like the most advanced, isn't it? Because for it you have those carryover factors, what. But primarily, to answer your question, the it's you can use hand calculation for a structure such as ours, but it will take a lot of time. Because think of the supports. The foundation supports will have three. The continuous end supports will have three, two, right? And then maybe things like cantilevers will have three. So primarily, what that teaches is just how to you get a small section. It's like FEM, finite element method. You get a very small section of a slab, and then they'll show you how to decompose it to its most finite element, and then you can use that concept. Yeah, and then you can use that concept to explore it on a larger scale. So to answer your question, yes, you can, but it would be extremely tedious for you. If you did it, for me personally, I've never done it. But obedience, would you like to share that your thesis? Maybe people might be interested. Okay, so I hope that answers your question.
Okay, yeah, yeah, it does. So pretty much you can finish everything in Prota,
Mm,
all the analysis,
mm,
structure, everything.
okay, let me start sharing my screen. But
So
let me tell
you
you
no
one
need
thing.
for equilibrium equations.
Yeah, equilibrium equations are is for static determinants, and mind you, it's static to begin with. It's not moving. But then
Yeah,
when you introduce moving objects or moving, then now you are going into dynamic, and it becomes extremely it becomes extremely complicated now.
yeah, because I saw there the, the moment diagram, also the shear diagram already calculated. So
Uh-huh. So
I
it's
think
nice for
it's
you to
much better
understand.
in the software.
It's nice for you to have a background knowledge of analysis of mechanics of reinforced concrete. It's good for you. In fact, I'm pretty sure the assumption is that before you can start using Prota, you already have a background in engineering. I think that's the assumption. So it's nice for you so that if you need to counter check, you can counter check. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
So for anyone, obedience, you do not have a problem with sharing your thesis, right? So just share obedience's thesis. It was a very good thesis. It shows a lot of information.
Oh,
In PDF. 18th April. We made changes to it. Okay. Okay, so I'll just share this in the group for anyone that might be interested. This was it was quite what's the word? It's like a template. It was very well done because it works on most of the concepts. This one is it's a double story. Oh, and you did two of them. Okay. So I'll be sharing this for anyone that might be interested. It would be nice if you can go through. So there it's got the introduction, it's got the frame structure, you can estimate the cross section, the beam, column, slab, and then floor slab design, then roof slab, design data, structure plan layout, dead and live load, internal cost calculation. Yeah, and all of this, the load distribution, horizontal loads, earthquake load combination, what we've been doing, beam and column reinforcement calculation, foundation design, power cap, and all that good stuff. So I'll share this in the WhatsApp group. Uh, for anyone that might be interested in further concrete member calculation. Okay, use moment distribution. Okay, guys. So we've agreed that we can do that structure that we've been doing previously. We can do it. So what I'll do is when you open up your Revit, I'm using Revit 2024, but most of the concepts will be similar. And then this is the interface. You've got models and you've also got family. So the way that Revit is has been designed by these graphical computer designers, it's based on the premise of things called families or templates, and then you can build from them. So, for example, if I decide to open up, you open if you've been working in one thing. So, if you decide to go to create a new model, you can create a new family, but that's a little too advanced. So, just open a new model. When I click on new, this Revit 2024 has simplified things. When you click on the drop down, you can either have an imperial or you can have a metric. The old versions of Revit, like 2013 and this is 2024, 2023 and below, you have like an architectural template, a structural template, maybe a mechanical template, what. But with 2024, what they've done is that they've lumped everything in one template according to either the imperial or the metric. So if you are using 2023 and below, you can just select structure template. So when I click on metric, multi, and you can see it says multi-discipline, meaning for these other disciplines. When you click on OK, it will give you this interface which has changed a little. Like it's got this green working area that the other versions didn't have. Like the other versions were just like AutoCAD where you have this working area which is infinite. But this one it gives you a certain predefined area in which you can work in and then you can move, you see. So when I started using this I was a little skeptic. It wasn't I think it gives a paper. But anyway, you've got your properties section this side and then you've also got your project browser section this side. If you like to toggle them and have them separately, I've seen other people that like to put them on this side. That's cool if you've got a very big screen. But I come from an era where I learned how to use Revit where these were together. They used to be together. Oh, yeah, and I've messed it up. Anyway, if you messed it up, you can just close and then you can dock. So I'll have that information there and then I can have my properties. Let me just resize it to go into the corner there like that. And then I can reduce it like that. Now I wonder where I had the properties and the what? And the browser. Okay, you can go to view. Graphic. I don't even know where it is anymore. So much for. Oh, you go to the user interface here. And then you can have your project browser here. And then you can put it somewhere. Please help me find out that. Okay, guys, for the purpose of this video, I'll put it this side like that, and then I'll start. I'm working in the structure template, but here when you go to your project browser here on the right, you can see that you've got the architectural, you've got your coordination like electrical, mechanical, plumbing, and then you've got also called MEP, and then you've got your structural. So for me, structure will be my area of interest here. Structural floor plans, L1, L2, and so on and so forth. And then primarily what I like to do before I begin a project, okay, let me just put this on the side. And also let me open that architect's drawing. So we'll be using this. Okay, so before I forget, there are two ways in which you can work in Revit. For example, you can either do what we did with the DXF file, where you import an existing floor plan and you work from it, or you can start from scratch. For the purpose of this video, I'll import that DWG that we had, and then we can be able to make changes to it accordingly. So when I go into my, I'll use the one that we made changes to, because that DXF that we imported, it didn't have any changes. So what I'll do is I'll create a new drawing like this. I'll select this and this. Okay, deselect this. I do not need this. So it leaves me with this structural grid line. And then I'll say select similar, and we'll select all of them in this drawing. Okay, so I have my grid lines. And then I'll select my column and the hatch pattern that I was using to create it, and then I'll say select similar, and I would have selected all the columns in this drawing. So what I would do is, because I do not need these other features, I do not need the walls. Actually, maybe I may need them. In fact, maybe not waste a lot of time. I'll just delete this, and then I'll use my ground floor. I'll select that, and then I'll say copy with base point. I'll hold it there at 1, create a new drawing, then I'll paste it in here. Say paste, asks for an insertion. So now I have everything, the comments, the walls, the columns, and everything. And then what I'll do is I'll save as DWG, and I'll call it for Revit import, like that. And then I'll select, and then I'll go to my Revit, and then I'll go into my structural floor plan. I'll close the architecture, and then I'll go into my structure, and then I'll go in insert. On the insert tab, I'll load. So when you go on the load, and maybe your Revit is not looking the same as mine, so you can toggle there like that to have more information like this. So when you go in insert there, it will say, what are you trying to, oh, someone is requesting to join. Okay, yeah, so like I was saying, to import DWGs or images or any other file format, PDF, what you do is you go to the insert section, and then you go to insert from or import card, and then when you click on import card, it asks you to locate where you are, the file that you're trying to import, where it's situated. For me, I know it's on my desktop in the 2025, in the teaching material, 31 days, in the architect, and then I'll find it there. It says for Revit import, and then there's this other extra information. So you can, do you want to preserve the colors? You can preserve, or you can just import black and white. For me, I'll preserve them. The layers, all of them. Import units auto detect. If you like, you can say millimeters. So in fact, let me not say auto detect. I'll say millimeters. I was working in millimeters, right? And then the origin to internal level like that, and then you say okay, and then there it comes. So when it comes into Revit, it comes as a pinned thing, meaning it will be hard for you to make any changes to it. And my columns are there. So you can either decide to unpin like that, or you can pin like that. When you unpin, it will be extremely messy. I would recommend that you leave it pinned. And then good part is that you can move. Can I? Let me try to choose this move function. Oh, okay, I'm constrained. So this thing was at the top. I just docked it at the bottom. So if I like, I can say dock at the top, and then most of you it will be here. So when I select this, I'll go to my move, and then you can see it saying it's constrained, meaning you can only move in this direction or this direction at 90 degrees. But when I deselect this, I can move it anywhere. But for me, I'd like to place it at the center. So I'll place it at the center there, and I can just measure to see that my units are similar. So from there to there, I expect something like a 3,200. So I know that it's it's been imported to this at the same scale, at a one-to-one scale. And then if it wasn't in the same scale, then you'd have to rescale it. I think when you click there, there's a function for modify, and I think there's here, this is the scale button. And we scaled in AutoCAD one time, right? So the same way that you scale in AutoCAD is the same way that you scale in Revit. So now, from there on, you can start your grid placement. And then to go to grid placement, you just go to the structure. Mm. Oh, yes, has changed today. Okay, so as I was saying, to go to your grid, you go to a datum, you go to structure or architecture, will also have there. But I'll be using my structure there, and I'll say grid, and then it gives you this information. The grid line's got an 8 millimeter bubble and so on and so forth. You can either offset or you cannot offset. Also, it's got this command line here, extremely important. AutoCAD has the command, Prota has the command, Revit has the command. I would recommend that you look at it every now and then. It gives you the information of what you need to do. So right now I'm in the grid command, and it's saying click to enter line segment, grid start point. So if I decide to click it there, I can choose to have it at 90 degrees. For example, if I hold my shift, I constrain it. It cannot move in any other direction. So I'll constrain it like that, and I'll click it there, and I'll have my grid number 1. You can go in to make sure that they match. It will say grid 01, and then if you'd like the bubble to be at the top and the bottom, you can click that little button. Sorry, you click this one, and then it shows. So from now on, you can either offset or you can just copy. Remember. So I'll click on this grid line that we've created. You can either give it an offset or you can copy. For me, I'll copy. If you like to offset it, you can say you create similar. When it's highlighted, you right click, you say create similar, and then there's an offset function there. For example, okay, for this particular example, offset, then I'll copy. So I know from 0 to 2, it's 3,200, right? So I'll go into my offset command there, and I'll say 3,200, and then I'll enter. And then when I select it like this, it will be offset at 3200. There, when I hover over it, it's this side also. You check on number 2, it's showing there. You see it? You see it? So when I click like that, it appears, and I expect a 02 there at the bottom. You see? So when I click on it, I activate it, then I can click that little square there it gives me. So that's how you offset, and then you can copy like this. You click on copy, you select the pick point, and then when you click, you can also hold down shift so that you constrain it. When you go there, it will say 3, and then this one will say 4, this one will say 5, 6, 7, and you'd have your y direction ribbon. You see? And then you can say create similar. You select one of them, you right click, you say create similar. Now we can draw the ones in the x direction. It says endpoint here. When you click it, you hold down your shift to constrain it in a horizontal direction. When you click here, it says 08, it's continuing. From 07, it continues to 0, but that's not what we want. So we'll double click in this area and say A, capital letter A, enter. So while it's still highlighted, I can go this side and I can select that and it says A. So you can either, remember, you can either offset or you can copy. Generally, I find copy easier. So I'll pick it from here, and then I'll hold down my shift, and then I'll paste it there at B. Just need to make sure that my endpoint button appears like that. And then I'll go to my C. Where's my C? I'm trying to make sure that the little square comes. Taking time. There. Also at D. There. At E. There. At F. Like that. At G. That one is not correct. Let me snap it properly. I'll move it from there to there. Hold down my shift like that. Then I'll copy from there. Finally, I'll go to my H. So I'll just try to make sure I'll cancel. When you cancel, you move out of the command. So everything is intact now. I have my numerical axis and my alphabetical axis there. So at this particular point, you can either decide to delete this thing that you brought in because it's bringing in a lot of confusion, or you can continue working with it. For now, I'll decide to continue working with it. So I'll just Control S. In my architecture there, let me just go back a little. I'll say from in the architect, I'll say Revit files. Uh, like that. So before, okay. So everything will be saved in a Revit files. And then I'll say continuation, the title will be 01, and I'll say continuation of double story residential home in Revit. So click on your options here. You see the number of backups. For me, I do not want all these files. This is too much, you know. So I'd much rather have it at one. If you want to have 3 backups, good for you. For me, I just want to have one. So click on OK, and now I can save. So now I can carry on without having a fear of losing my work because I've just done my initial save. So after having done this, unlike Prota, you do not need to go into the building set out. Auto or Revit is quite easy. What you do, you just go to your elevations. So here in the views, okay, in the architecture is where you find the elevations. Here, how about in structure? Can you find the elevations? No, unfortunately not. So in the architecture there, you click to minus, you go to your elevations here, you click like that. I'll go into my south so that now I can be able to, you see, it's giving me L1 and L2. So that now I can be able to define the story length. And this is too much, I'll just reduce it like that. And stop moving. I don't know if it's been. Yeah, so what you saw there was that it was broke. But as I move, I'm also moving this. So just go and undo this and have it look like that. It's okay. So what I can do now is I'll refer to my architecture. Not this one. This one I can actually close it. Save this purpose. It was just for the purpose of import. But then this one is where I'll get the levels. So this architect guy is saying the foundation will be at -1 250. But I will not work with that. I'd much rather work with my Revit, with my Prota. So actually, Revit is good to just design a general arrangement. After having designed in Prota and you have everything ready, where was it? It was here. After having everything ready, now you can come to Revit and you can use the parameters of your analysis and you can build on that. So for example, this is what we did yesterday. All this information came from Prota. For the columns, the stubs, I know that they're at -1200. So this is like the top of the footing, right? So I'll go into Revit there. I'll just click on this one, right click to create similar. When I create similar, I'll use the offset button and I'll say 1200, right? And I'll select this. It says pick line. This is the line that I want to pick. If I pick it closer to the top, it offsets in the top. If I pick it closer to the bottom, it offsets in the bottom. So when I click like that, it says -200, right? Personally, I like naming things. I like giving them proper names. It's very easy for identification. So there, you see what I did. It's got like an elbow. So when you highlight, it's got this kind of thing. It's called an elbow. So when you click on it, you like break it because I do not want it to be so close there. And then when I double click this, I can rename it. So since this is closer to 0, I'll say -0 0.1 and I'll call it TOF, meaning top of 14. And I'll select. It asks me, would you like to rename? Yes. And I'll say yes. And then from there, the architect says, after the foundation, you've got, this is wrong. How do you have negative? You will say not the natural ground floor. You go back there. This one I'll rename it as my 00 and it will be my NGL, short for natural ground level, like that. And I'll say okay. And then when you look at your Prota, your natural ground level is at 00, but your ground floor or your GF, your ground floor is raised at a 200 to create that state. So that's exactly what I'll do. I'll select this and I'll say create similar and I'll set it by 200 like that, and I'll hover over it there at the top, and you can see now I have this confusion of all of this information. That's very dirty. So I'll tidy it up. I drag this TOF at the bottom so that I can select my NGL and click on the elbow there just to make sure that my work looks neat. I'll drag it at, in fact, what I can do is this, I can move it like that. You can move this and you can move this and then this you can move down now, and it will tell you that you've got an NG or natural ground level at 0, and then this will be 0 1. Okay. Control A to select everything. This will be your 0 1, and you can say ground or SOG. SOG means slab on grade, because this slab is on the grade, or you can say ground floor level if you like, whichever works for you. For me, I'll maintain on SOG, and then it asks if you would like to renew, and I'll say yes. So now I have this ground floor level, and then after that now I can maintain the architect's intended floor height, because they know best according to the ceiling, how much headroom your ceiling is supposed to have, and so on and so forth. Uh, okay, I'll go to the lintel, aka ring beam. I'll go in there and I'll change this. I'll call it 02, and I'll say ring beam level. If you like, you can shorten it also. R ring B beam L level, and then you say okay. It's at 2400, isn't it? So you can also change when you click on the number. You're changing the height. See how it drops. So Control S to save. You see that your ring beam is at 2.4, and then your first floor is at 3.4. So you can click this to create. So you select it to highlight it, then you right click to have these options. There's this create similar option. You are picking lines, remember. And the difference between 3.4 and 2.4 is 1000, isn't it? So I'm offsetting it by 1000 so that I can have 3.4. If you miss that, you're not so sure, if you say 2000, it's still okay. You can also go back. So I'll make this mistake by accident, just so you can see what I mean. So now that's too much now, right? This is like 4.4, and this is my first floor. This is supposed to be number 3, first floor, or FF, first floor level. Okay, and then I'll reduce it and say 3400, isn't it? Already I'm having that problem there. Things are not in order. I'll just click on that elbow, and then everything will be legible. Now I can read. And then remember, on the first floor, it also has a ring beam for the windows and doors, and it's at 5.8. I'll go into my Revit. I'll select this, right click, say create similar, pick. I give it a difference between 5, what? Was that 5.8 or 5.4? 5.8. So the difference between 5.8 and 3.4, I do not know. But let me just give it maybe like a 3000 offset, and then I'll go back inside and I'll edit. So when I select that, it says it's 6,000. So actually this was the RB, ring beam level. I don't, or I'll go back inside and say ring beam level 1, just to differentiate them, and then this will be number 4, and it will be my RBL2. I know it's on the second, and I'll say yes, and it's at 5.8, right? So it reduces. And then last but not least, we have the concrete roof, starting at, not supposed to be 6.8. What is this? Is this 200? In Prota we designed it as 150. Here we also maintain it as 150. 200 for a roof slab is a little too excessive, especially for a residential house. So this is my 6,800, but it's measuring at the bottom. I want it to measure at the top. Therefore, 6,800, I'll give it a 150, and it will be 6,950. Hopefully that's what this portal also says. Let's see what we did. Let's see what we did in port for the last. That one says 6,950, right? It says 700. Oh, maybe it's to the 400. Does it have a 400 beam at the top? Let's see. This is the roof slab. Yeah, it has a 400 going down. Okay. Since this, okay, no, let's keep it. But 400 is going down. Anyway, so you say roof what? Roof slab. You select, right click, pick, and what was it? It was 6.8, but we found 6.950, right? Okay, so I'll go back to Revit. I'll give it an offset of maybe 2000, and then I'll select that there, and I'll change the information. This one will be 05, roof slab RSL, roof slab level. I'll enter rename, and then I'll say it's at 6950, and then it reduces. So you can either take it at the bottom or you can take it at the top. This is one way. Alternatively, I could have selected this and taken it up like that. Still would have had the same effect. So now I have my grid lines and I have my levels and everything. So we are good, right?
Isn't
Paul, you said? Then I'll raise this.
the roof isn't it supposed to be at 6.8? Because from the ring beam to the roof is 1,000.
Okay, let's just confirm. Paul is saying from the ring beam to the roof is 1000. Okay, so why I did that is because the 1000 is measuring from the top, from the bottom, sorry, from the bottom of the beam or the slab. Ideally, a structure engineer measures from the top going down. You understand? If you pay attention,
Okay.
these other ones is measuring from the top of the element. I don't know why he fumbled it here at the top, but here the ground, the first floor, it measures it from the top. You see, and then the ring beam also measured it from the bottom. Also, you're supposed to measure it from the top. Same with here, he measured it at the bottom, if I'm not mistaken. So ideally, and I'll also show you in Revit, ideally as a structural engineer, you're not measuring the height of objects, you're measuring the depth. You go down, you do not go up. So keep that in mind, you'll see what I mean. Especially that I'm working in the structure. So I'll go here, and then what I'll do is I'll try to create columns according to these ones that came in the import. So to do that, I'll go to my structure tab, my column tab there, and then when you look here in the place structure column, you see the option here. Because I'm in the structure template, it comes with depth, meaning if I place this column, it will go down. However, as an architect, maybe you'd have to change and say height. But ideally, as a structural engineer, you want to go down. I hope you understand, Paul. Okay, so here I selected my column, structural column. You see, it brings me a steel structure element, and that's not, we are not working with steel today. And this is actually an HSS. HSS for hollow square section, I think, meaning a tube. So you drop down there and you say, maybe you can select this 400 by 600. And then when you select this, of course, this is too much. This is not what we're working with. You can edit the material there. It's like the edit material in Prota. So now you've got this information. If you are new to Revit, you think of just going into the dimensions there and changing, but you do not want to do that. You want to duplicate so that you can leave the other one that came as is. So always a good idea to duplicate. You duplicate the material that you have and you say, I'm using my 200 by what? 400 columns, right? So I duplicate the name. Before I change the dimensions, I duplicate the name. So here you can see the type, which tells you that it's a 200 by 400, and the family it chooses is the concrete rectangular column. And then now here you have to go in and actually now do the work, because there when you duplicated it, you just changed the name. You didn't change the section. So there you go in, you say 400, 200. The breadth will be 200, and then the height will be 400, and then you apply. If there's any other information that you like to change, you can change. If you like it to specify the manufacturer, there you can say if you are buying it from who are some concrete precast concrete suppliers, edge plant, edge plant construction. And then if there's a cost, if you're a quantity surveyor, you can give it maybe like 1000 what, 1800. If we're using CPH, 1800 per cubic, right? So when you can create quantification table, and then here it gives you like the class, the what, and if you like, you can preview here like that, either in 3D or 2D. You got all these functions, elevation, front, back, whatever. Maintain 3D, and I'll put this one back, and then I'll apply equals enter value formula. Where did I? Oh, maybe it's this thing. Apply. Ah, okay. I'll just delete. Giving me problems. Apply, then okay, and then you see it comes in a portrait orientation. I can change the orientation by pressing on the space bar like that. And the good thing about Revit is that if I can actually place it like at 45 degrees. For example, you see I'm changing in a white space, right? But if I take it here by the corner, it will actually do that. You see it gives it a slant, like a 45. Pretty cool, right? So take it back to my white space, and then I'll place it there. So you might not see it, but I've inserted a column. To be sure, you go to this car house thing. This car house thing is like the 3D. Or if you like, if you're a person that really likes the car, that car, what is it, the cube there, you can change and you say 3D. But anyway, to simplify it, I'll just click on the house there, and it goes to 3D. You remember how in Prota you use your right key to hover, like to rotate. For Revit, it's the mouse button and shift. So you hold down shift and the mouse button, and then you locate. This is the column that we've inserted, right? And it's gone down. And then when you click on it, on the properties, it shows you that the base level is TOF. You want it to sit on top of the footing, right? And then the top level, for now, you want it to go to the ground. Or if you like, you can take it as far as the roof, right? So you take it up to the roof, right? So here you change and you say, because the roof slab needs support by the column. So you change here and you say RSL, roof slab level, and then you see how it goes up. So having done that, when you go back to this, you can now just copy, or alternatively, but when I say, if I go to my structure and I click on the column there, and then if I say at grid lines, it will just put on every insertion, and that will be a little too much. So let me just select this existing one. You can see that I'm using a 200 by 400. and I'll copy. I'll choose, okay, let me choose this. Make sure your constraint is turned off, otherwise it will just be allowing you to move in the perpendicular direction. So select this like that. It places one there, and then it places another one there, and then it places another one there. Remember the orientation, you change it. Okay, I'll put it here, then I'll deselect, and then I'll change it, then I'll choose move, pick it from there, and put it right there. It's off, you see. So select move, choose it there, make sure this little triangle thing, I don't know what's happening, but it's showing me things that are not supposed to be seen. Move it from there to there. Okay, now it's in line. I think the previous one was the one in red was off. Okay, I've placed these columns in my A axis. When I click on the 3D, it shows me that I've placed them, right? And I think today maybe we might just, oh, okay, we might end at 10 or 10:30. So I go now to my B axis. I'll choose one of these columns that I've already placed, and I'll say copy, and I'll choose the top part there, and then I'll go into my B axis. I'll put one there, another one there. I'm trying to wait for my little, okay, this one is out, I'll put it here, I'll come back to it there, also this one is out, I'll put it there, and then I'll select it, I press the space bar, it changes, I click on my move from there to, okay, and then don't forget about this one, you click on your space, you go there and there, you can zoom in a little because there's that problem, and then you can check your 3D, you can see you have them in the B like that. You control S, you go back to 2D, you copy, select this one, you say copy, remember where you're copying from there, find that the orientation is different, this one is off, oh, because it was eccentric, okay, so because it's there you put it there, the orientation is different, this one is also different, you put it there, this one is also different, you put it there, put it there, all of them are different, should have picked in the other direction. So I'll press on the space, I'll move, put it here, this one also selected, space bar, put it there, okay, this one too, select it, space bar, from there to the corner, sometimes it becomes very hard for the square to come off, even after it came, from there to there, hopefully. Oh, you can also, there's a feature, it's called the align tool. Very important too. So what the align tool does is that it's a command you're asking the object that you've selected to align to something that's already existing. So what you do, for example, for this one, that's out. So what you do is when you select it, it gives you this modify thing. And then the align key is here, the command. When you select it, so here's where a lot of people have problems. So after having chosen the align command, what you do is you select the first point that you select is where you want that object to align. So for example, I want it to align from to there. So I'll select this and then I'll select this and it goes down. I don't know if you saw that. If you did it in the other direction, it wouldn't work. So you do that, you move this, and then if you like, you can choose the align, but I will not. I foresee a problem somewhere, so I'll select, and then I'll just move it there. Okay, we've done C. Oh, there's one remaining. I'll select it there, put it, wait for the, okay. Where else? Okay, we're good with, oh, we forgot to add a B1 axis. So I'll just select that, uh, then select the copy to, I'll move it from there to there, and then I'll rename it as B1. Not a musician, guys. So the way that you did with the levels, you can do with the bridge also. The little elbow there, and then you move it like that. You can do the same here. You click it, then you bring it down a little. You don't want them kissing, right? Okay. So we've done B1. Let's do C. I do not know what orientation they're in, but I'll just go with this. Okay. Then you put one there. Double counting is so good. Okay. But let me just confirm that there is one there. Okay, there is. Okay. But where is it? Oh no, there's actually two here. Oh, I deleted one. Oh, let me just double check. Oh, okay, I remember having put this one. Oh, the class has ended. Sheesh. Where did you should come? Shiba. Let me just finish this class and go there. Let me just finish column placement and put it. Oh, okay. I pause the recording so that we do not capture any other unnecessary information. But let me carry on. So we were on column placement, right? And we had placed the columns in C. So what I'll do is I'll copy this and then I'll go to D and try to see. Well, I didn't mean for D and C to run. But I'll be in D here and then I'll try to see if there are any columns. I remember we moved them on E. Uh-huh. So I'll put Someone is trying to join. Okay, so now we're adding columns to into grid line D. I'll put one there just to see if I can. I'm really targeting that we do columns and the bases today, so that maybe tomorrow we can do something else. Is my constraint on? Oh, so
Yeah, can't see the screen.
oh, sorry. Let me share. Hopefully you can see it now. Ah,
Yes.
I'm seeing a problem. I'll come back and align that one. I'll put this one here, but let me go back and align. Where was I? Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. I can see a problem in aligning there, so I'll click on the align, and I want it to align to that, and now it's good. Let's see if I can. No, I cannot. I'll have to rotate it first, and then let's see if align can work its magic here. I'll choose this and this, and then this. It actually did work, and then this. Anyway, it can work, and then this and this. It goes into position there. See. That's how you use your line key a command. So I'll place all the columns here, and then I'll go in. Where am I? I'll go in E. So let me just copy one of these. I'll select. I'll copy there at the corner. There's one there. There's another here. Ah, seems as if I'll have to align this one also. And then, okay, that's it. So let me align it before we go anywhere. Incorrect. Select that, use align, choose that, and it moves into position. You can lock it if you like. I will not. So you choose that, pick it by the corner there. Um, F, does F have any columns? So this is where we were supposed to put that column. I think maybe we excuse me. We can do the right thing in Revit now. Although I do not know whether this was go to the top. So this is that discussion that we had in the morning, and then I'll put one here. This one needs. What is this? Is that F? So there's one there. How about I just copy and constrain? I'll delete this one. I'll choose this, and then I'll copy it from here, and then I'll hold down my shift to constrain. In fact, let me just constrain it from here, and then I'll put it. And let's do something like 100, and then I'll align it. Select it, click, not move. So align, choose this and this, and then it's there, sits there. Okay, and then I'll copy this. I think G, and then H will be the last. I'll choose this here, and then I'll put it here. Okay, put it there, then put it there. Okay, and then put one here. Seems as if we're going to align a lot here. That one. Okay, we're actually just going to align. Is there a column here? Yeah, okay, so this one is the one that we need to rotate. Then move, get it from there, put it there. Hopefully everything is in position. This one is aligned. This one is not. I'll select it, click this and this. Which other area needs aligning? Right now my line is in multiple alignment. I can deselect that so that this one and this one. Okay, I think we're done with column placement now. When we go into 3D, this is what it shows, like that. And then for this particular video, what I'll do is that I'll just add the foundation bases and then we'll call it a day. So here I'll go into my plan view here, and then I'll go to structure. I'm actually still in the align. I'm still in the align command. I'll press escape to come out of it, and then here it says I'll go on the structure. There's a tab that says foundation. I know exactly what kind of foundation I'm using, right? Out because Prota told me so. Prota told me that I'm using foundation bases of a variety of sizes, dimensions. For example, we've got 1.7, 1.6. So for me, because I do not want to waste a lot of time, I would just make them typical and say 1.5, but I won't label them because I need the contractor to come and look at this sheet for dimensions and also for reinforcement. So I'll go to my Revit, I'll select, I'm using isolated foundations or pads, and then I'll click it. Remember to change your edit type because I don't think there's going to be a 1.5, 1.5. I only get 1.5, 1.2, and these are rectangular, but for me I'm using a square. So I'll go there, I'll edit and say I'm using a generic one, a 1.5 space by 1.5 space by, what was the thickness here? What was the thickness of my bases? They're 300, right?
3,000. Yeah, 300. 300.
Yeah. So I'll go there and I'll say 300. I'll remove the 2 and I'll OK it. And then now here, foundation thickness. I was changing the name, but now I need to change the parameters. 300 thickness, and then the width is 1.5, so is the length 1.5, and then this other information if you'd like to describe it, footing, you can say footing or F, and then you apply, you're okay, and then now your job now is to put them. You can either put them one by one or you can select this option that says columns. So when you click at columns, make sure that you do that. And then when you see there, when you zoom in, it places them at the center of these columns. And then when you say finish, it will say, it's giving you this warning and none of the created elements are visible. This is because of the cuts. There's a thing called view range. I'll show you. So when you go to 3D, indeed, they are there, right? We can see them, they are there. But what we cannot see is, we cannot see them in this view. It's because of something called a view range. A view range shows you where you're cutting and how much of that. For example, imagine you're on the ring beam. and then you do a cross section, or not a cross section, like a plan section. You cut it. What you'll be able to see will only be the walls, the columns, and so on and so forth. You won't be able to see the foundations in real life. But in Revit, you can click, you press V and R, and it takes you to this option. It's called the view range. If you like to forego this so that you can be able to see everything, just make sure everything is on unlimited, and you put unlimited there and unlimited. You apply, you'll be able to see them now. You see. And then if you like, you can name them, you can label them, you can do what. So this is what you have. So now, just for the purpose of this video, I know I'm supposed to end right here. Let me just add the foundation one so that I can delete this thing. I do not like the way that it's looking. Okay. So I'll go to foundation, and then I'll go to walls. When I click on walls there, it gives me a generic wall thickness 200. So I can go on edit, I can rename it, and I can call it as foundation wall. And then when I OK, I can edit here the type. When I click on edit, it tells me the structure of foundations. The material, I can choose maybe concrete masonry unit. When you click on that little box there, it takes you to these things like material. Revit has got material. So for me, I'll say CMU, short for concrete masonry units. And then I'll select, I'll say OK. I need them at 200. This is okay. If you like to use 150, use 150. If you like to use anything more, although this is the most thick you find on the Zambian market. So you say okay, and then you apply like that. So while you're in here, you can see that it's giving you this information about base constraint. Uh, my base constraint, I would actually like for it to be the top of footing. I do not want to have any offset. My top of footing, I'd like it to be in the ground level, and the top offset, I don't wish for a top offset. And then I'll follow this. I'll click there, and then I'll click there, like that. I'll exit once, I'll cancel once, and then I'll move to the next one. There, like that. And then essentially what I'm doing is I'm just batting them. I'm batting them at the bases. I'll cancel once, and then I'll click there also. So these are foundation ones, the same ones that are coming, the ones that will need a straight footing. I'll bat it once like that, and then, well, yeah, I can put here just for the purpose of making it like ring, like that. Okay. If you like, you can draw one whole thing, but for me, I like to design as if I'm constructing. There's never been a situation where your wall will go through your base. So because of that, I'm usually quite impatient. Eh, okay, there. And then from there, I'll just make it go like that. It was going to corner here, it needed, when you put it there, then it will go in the middle there. Hmm. It won't even good. I'll delete it. Not like that. I'll delete this one, and I'll make this one continue to make the foundation base there. Okay, so when you go into 3D, it looks like this. Ideally, this is how you're going to be constructing if you're a contractor. You go to, oh, they needed to be meeting the walls, they needed to be meeting the columns. Okay. Let me give you the columns like that. You sit at the top of the base like that. And then you have something like this. This is more realistic. So after having put your walls like that, let me just do like a fast forward. You control S, you save. What is going to follow is also a foundation. But what kind of foundation for walls? A strip. Here they call it a wall foundation. But when you see it, this is how it's supposed to be. So when you click on it, usually for 200 we use 600 by what? 200 by 600. So here it's being referred to as a bearing footing, or wall foundation. And then I'll say edit. I'll duplicate. I'll say strip footing, or I'll actually say 600 millimeter, 600 times 200 millimeter strip foundation. And now okay. I'll change the width. I do not want it to be 900 wide. I would much rather have it 600. My thickness will be 200, and then I'll apply like that, and then I'll OK. And then when I click, I can either do this in 2D or 3D. When I click like that, you see how they connect. But mind you, now it's at the top. What this means is that we would have to backfill in order to reach this, and that's not what I would much rather have. For me, I would much rather give this wall like 100 base offset. So I'll say minus 100 so that this strip footing can meet the base there. When I say okay, that's what happens. You understand? I hope you understand what just happened there. I move the wall downward so that I'd much rather have a step at the top than the way that it was at the step at the bottom. It's easier to backfill at the top than it is to backfill at the bottom because you might miss the level. So meaning if I do the same for this, let me use that align to again. I want I want my wall to align to the, so this face of the wall to align with that face of the column like that, and then this face of the column to align with this face of the wall, and so on and so forth. This face to align with this face, and then this face to align with that face, and then that face to align with this face, and 10, 11 off. This face to align with that one, and that one to align with that one, and then that one to align with that one, and that one to align with that one, that one to align with this one, and then that one to align with that one. Okay, this is where we ended. Okay, so having done that, I'll select this one, and then I'll select all of them, like select instances in entire project, because I need all of them to go down by minus 100 so that my footing can sit proper. So when I do that, I can select this strip footing, and then I can say create similar, and then on all of these walls I can click on them, see how it creates that, see, and so on and so forth, like that. And then if I wanted to, I can create a very small section view just to show you. So you see how it looks, and then when you click on section there, you can just draw a section here. You can either face in that direction or the other. So I'm good with whatever. If I select that, this is how it will look like. But now it's also showing the base. So if you don't want it to show the base, also change the view. Make sure it shows fine. and then see how all of this is jumbled up. You change the scale, maybe 1 to 50. No, this one's enough. 1 to 25. You see, shows me that okay, this is the wall, this is my strip footing, this is my isolated base or my pad foundation, and then I can actually even name them. When you go to view annotate, annotate as these tag elements. When you click on it, it says G07. I think this is like maybe ground wall or something. But when you click on this one, it tells you that it's a 15 by 15 by 300. When you click on this, it tells you it's a strip footing. And then if you've got any intentions of reinforcing, you can actually do some detailing right here in Revit. If you've got any intentions of reinforcing this, you can go to your structure or still there, actually structure, here on Riba. When you click on it, it tells you the family hasn't been loaded. So therefore, oh, actually it has. Okay. So when you change your placement, for example, I want it to be parallel. Do I want it to be parallel? Okay. What happens? Well, maybe perpendicular. Okay, so near face curve. And then also, what kind of shape? When you click there, it brings you these shapes. For me, I'll use this one for this. And then now I'll say I want it to be parallel, and you see it's selecting the base there. So whether you want it to be like a single mat or singly reinforced, you select that, and then for this other in this other direction you change, say, to perpendicular, like where perpendicular here, and then now it shows these like that. Place it there, and then now when you select this, you can change the spacing. So when you go to modify here, where was it? You can add a coupler if you like, but here you see layout, single. You can say maximum spacing, and then you can refer to your drawing maybe here, your the structural drawing. It says it's spacing at 250, you see, and then you can go to Revit, and then here you change spacing, you say 250, and then when you select, right now it's saying the quantity is 16, but when you select, it shows at 7. We can confirm in Prota, you see, we have 7y16, so meaning it's correct. Also here, remember the bar size. Right now we are using just a structural bar. So you can say 16, and then you can say it's bigger. Also for this one, it's supposed to be in that direction there. Anyway, when you click on that, you do the same. You say maximum spacing, and then you say your spacing is at 250, and then you select it, and then it will look like that. If you'd like to see this in 3D, you go to your 3D view. Just remember which base this one is. Okay, you select it, then you go to 3D, and then it shows you. So in 3D, you see, it shows you that that's the way that it's going to be looking. If you'd like to see that further, you select the item, and then you go to graphic display, and then maybe you give it like a 70 transparency so that it can be visible, the rebar, like that. So that's how your steel will sit, in that direction and in that other direction. And then if you'd like to take it back to zero transparency, you can print it either like this, and then you can do the same for the column. So guys, the video has been extended. I think maybe we can end here for now, and then tomorrow we can finish the wall. Or if you like, you can let me know if you'd like us to proceed to finish the wall, so that we can just come and do something. Just let me know. we'll go with general consensus. We've got one, two, three, four. If we can get three, then if each one of you can just vote by just saying, if you say continue, if I get three continues, I can continue. If I get one, or you know what I mean. If you do not want to speak, you can just type in the chat there. Otherwise, if no one has anything to say, then I'll end the video here. Oh, someone has commented there. Oh yeah, process we can continue tomorrow. Okay. So guys, thank you so much. I hope that you can review. We will see you tomorrow. I will stop recording.